Tonight, stunning accusations. The lawyer for porn star Stormy Daniels alleging the president's personal attorney, Michael Cohen, was selling access to the president of the United States. Michael Avenatti claiming some $4.4 million flowed through Cohen's company after October 2016.
I think they paid the money to Michael Cohen probably because he suggested to AT&T that he could provide access to the president and could act as a lobbyist.
And tonight, NBC News is learning new details about those payments, including some from companies that had business pending with the new administration. A senior official at pharmaceutical company Novartis telling NBC News Cohen reached out to the company's then CEO shortly after the election, promising access to the new administration. The company says it paid Cohen nearly $1.2 million for what was supposed to be advice on health care policy, but soon realized Cohen couldn't deliver. That official also says special counsel Robert Mueller asked about Cohen's offer of access. Novartis says they cooperated fully. And another major company, AT&T, paid at least $200,000 to Cohen's company, saying it was to provide insights into understanding the new administration. The company made the payments to Mr. Cohen's company at the very time the telecommunications giant was seeking government approval for an $85 billion takeover of Time Warner. Also under a microscope, Columbus Nova, a U.S.-based firm with ties to Russian oligarch Viktor Vekselberg, who is linked to Vladimir Putin. Columbus Nova paid $500,000 to Cohen's firm between January and August 2017. In a statement, Columbus said it hired Cohen as a consultant regarding potential sources of capital and potential investments in real estate and other ventures. Only months earlier, Cohen had used the same account to wire that hush money payment to Stormy Daniels over her allegation she had an affair with Mr. Trump, which he denies. The White House today deflecting. The president promised to drain the swamp. So does he feel it's appropriate that Michael Cohen, his personal attorney, was selling access to him?
That's a determination that individual companies have to make, and I haven't spoken with the president.
In a dramatic scene on a New York sidewalk, Cohen fired back at Avenatti's claims.
Any response? Any response to Avenatti?
His document is inaccurate.
How do you feel about you?
NBC News has reviewed financial documents that appear to support Michael Avenatti's accounting of the transactions. Meanwhile, the president's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, telling NBC News tonight, quote, the president is not involved in any way, either before or after he was president. Michael Cohen's attorney is disputing some of the claims in a new court filing late tonight.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.